another Video Games to the Max. This is number 149 for us that are counting, and you that probably don't care. I am your host, Sean Garmer. With me here, Mr. Marc Morrison.
Howdy.
Well, it's thankfully not been as long a break as what has been happening lately. There is a few things to talk about here, so we'll get to those. But anything going on with you? Or?
I finished Tales of Berseria finally.
Yeah, I think you messaged me at like 5 in the morning, like, hey, I finished the game. I'm like, why are you still awake at 5 in the morning playing this game?
It took a while. I was like, holy Christ. And I was cheating. Like, I spent 50 hours and I cheated through like at least half of it, and it still took me 50 hours. So.
Oh, so you beat the PC one, but not the PS4 one?
Oh, hell yeah.
You're like, I'm not gonna play through the.
Well, if they wanted me, if I wanted to review the PS4 one, they would need to send me $20 in PSN credit so I can buy all their DLC.
Jeez.
That's just like the useful DLC. There's still like $20 or $30 extra of like costume DLC, like summer outfits and stuff like that. It's like I don't care.
They don't have like a season pass or something?
No.
Weird.
Because that would make too much sense.
Well, I mean,
plus it'd be plus it would be less cost effective for them.
True. That's the important part in this whole lesson here. So beyond that, I guess, been playing anything else?
Let's see. Disgaea 2 on PC. Only played like 2 hours of that so far. It's more Disgaea. It seems to run a little better than Disgaea 1 on PC. But it is like functionally the same game.
Yeah, from what I remember, because I don't think I've played too much of 2. Yeah.
Like I even read a few reviews just to like see what I could glean, like what's new and different, and like one of the reviews, like you can get a cell phone mid battle to call pizza, and that's about it. I was like, yep.
Cell phone mid battle to call pizza.
This may be a short review for me then. It's slightly less pervy, at least so far, than the first one, at least. So.
Oh god, yeah, the first one was full of that stuff.
What else? A game called Gemini Heroes Reborn on Steam.
What is that?
It is a Heroes game from it's a Heroes based in like the old NBC show.
Okay.
But it's like a first person psyops.
Wow.
You play a character and you can your two big powers are telekinesis, so you can pick up guys and throw them around and stuff. And then you also have like a time shift ability, like Singularity, or like that one mission in Titanfall 2. So you shift between like the past and like present and get around the environment that way.
So what made you play this game?
I was curious about it. I know it's a short game. I like psyops a lot. So, it runs like garbage on my computer. I'm not quite sure why. It's an old, like, my computer's old, don't get me wrong, but it's not that old.
Yeah. But the game's pretty old too. I mean, it shouldn't be.
Well, the game only came out like, I think 2 years ago maybe.
Oh, so it was part of the reboot?
Yeah.
Okay.
But, yeah, it's, it's also a little, I'd say low budget in a sense. Like, it takes a while to kill guys. Like, if I throw a guy 30 feet in the air and he just falls, that should kill him on one blow, not 3.
Right, yeah. So, That would make a lot of sense. Did
And
you,
there's this.
Go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna say there's this whole like, you can have like a bullet shield like handy, and you can also slow time. So one of the mechanics is you're supposed to like have the bullet shield active, slow time, and when the bullet is coming towards you, you're supposed to like deflect it back with your telekinesis. But that feels like garbage. And I'm at a point now where I'm supposed to use it to like kill this like guard, and it took me like 15 minutes to try to do it. And then I just got pissed and closed the game. I'm like, no, I'm done.
Yeah, that would probably make me want to close the game too. Like, seriously?
And I also started replaying Red Dead Redemption.
I still need to go and play that game. I keep saying I'm going to, and I don't.
You never played it?
Nope.
I
have it on PS3.
Ooh. You may want to get the Xbox One version.
I'll have to look into that.
It's, it's fine. It's like, cowboy GTA.
Yeah, that's what I've heard everybody say.
It starts slow, though. And some of the mechanics are kind of weird.
How so?
Like the cover mechanic just feels less refined slightly than a GTA game.
Well, I guess that makes sense, considering the setting it's in and everything.
Yeah, but hunting is fun, so that's good.
Hey. Plus, I heard is it playing poker or some kind of card game is really fun?
Yeah, poker, if I remember right, you can cheat in poker, and when they catch you, you duel with the guy.
Awesome.
And then you can just kill him.
There's the Wild West for you. Just kill him. It's all right. No problem.
And I also played an hour of Batman Telltale Adventure.
What did you think?
As I anticipated, the voice acting is bad.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the original guy, so
Well, I only played like an hour of the first episode, but
I think it's only 2 hours.
the standout to me was the guy playing Harvey Dent is an actor named Travis Willingham, I should say, and he's good at. He's been in anime and he's been in a bunch of stuff. Like I don't fault him or anything, but he sounds like Patrick Warburton as Harvey Dent, and that sounds weird to me.
Yeah, did you? I like that they made it to where sort of they try to mimic the Batman fighting thing, but you're just moving the joystick around or whatever.
That doesn't work well. The game runs bad, at least in my computer. That's not my computer. That's a common complaint, honestly. And
well, that's a common Telltale thing.
Yeah, it's like asking them to do that with that engine, not a great move.
I don't know. I didn't run into too many. There was one that it just didn't go, and it made me miss. But other than that, I remember it functioning.
You played on PS4, right?
On Xbox One, but yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, they have to spec out to that, so they know like what they can do. Like when I loaded the game up, it was like, make sure your video card drivers are up to date, and I'm like, okay, like.
I mean, yeah, their games do run much better on the newer consoles, because, oh my god, on 360 it was so bad.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine playing that game on, a 360 or PS3. No. And it came to it, I know that.
Oh yeah, it did. I was like, why are you guys still making these games for...
Comes up to fucking everything. It's like, you idiots. I'd be curious to try that game on iOS, just to see how bad it would be.
I've heard that they were okay on Vita, but I don't know about on your phone or whatnot. You'd have to have a pretty good phone, probably.
Well, this isn't on Vita, so...
No. So I got stuck on the I for some reason I was like, well, I never got very far in Project X Zone 1, so let me go play through that and see which characters don't show up in 2 or aren't brought back for 2, I guess. And I think I'm on like chapter 15 or so. I think there's probably about the same amount of chapters as 2, like 40. So, it's a good like game to play here and there when you need something portable. It's just it sucks because the actual levels take like anywhere from like an hour to whatever. So it's like it's either do this or I don't do something for the day, and I just wind up leaving my 3DS on for a lot of the day, waiting until the moment I'm gonna actually play the thing. But it's I'm so glad that in 2 they changed the thing where your whole party goes first and then the enemies. In the first game, they do it by like how fast the characters are, and it's so annoying because you'll have like 3 characters go and then like a horde of enemies go, and you're like, what why is my health almost, if I don't get my own character pretty soon, one of my guys are going to die because I can't use items on them until all the other stupid enemies are done. But yeah, I mean, if you like games where a lot of, it's Capcom characters, Bandai Namco characters, and Sega characters all teaming up and doing stuff, so it's always fun. I love playing those games just because I sit there and go, man, now I want to go play this game, or I want to go play that game.
Ever so it's Namco, Capcom, and Sega.
Yeah.
Ever try? I mean, I didn't. Ever heard of Namco X Capcom?
Yeah, I've played it. It's just some of the stuff is still, it's not all translated.
Yeah.
So some of the stuff's still hard to understand.
Like the story.
Yes, like the story, which is the main part of that game. And also, like, sometimes trying to figure out what you're actually, like, when it tries to explain to you in the tutorials certain things you're doing, it's hard to understand. But, I mean, for the most part, it's the same kind of game. It's just, it doesn't run that well being on the PS2. So,
Yeah.
I've gone back and played, like, the DS Super Wars Tyson, whatever, OG thing, which is like the first where they actually originated from. Those are actually pretty good too. But and I've played the For Honor beta. I played it with one of our staffers on Xbox One. I did a tutorial on PS4, but I haven't played with anybody. If you're listening to this before Monday, the beta is still going on both Xbox One and PS4, so just download it. The tutorial takes about 5 minutes, and then you can play the multiplayer. There's about like 4 different modes. There's 1 versus 1 duel, 2 versus 2. There's a deathmatch where it's 4 versus 4. And there's also a Dominion, which is basically you try to take over, like capture certain areas or whatever, and whoever has the most areas captured, you win. Once you get to like, I think it's like 100 or 1,000 or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's like hard point.
Yeah, basically. The game it's basically based around it. You've seen the samurai, the knight, and the Viking thing. They have I've played with the assassin class too. I don't know if there's any other classes that are going to wind up being in the game, but that's the ones that they gave people access to right now. And I mean, it's basically based on a block system, right? Like you have 3 directions that you can get them to block, and if you don't hit the same direction that your opponent is hitting, then their attack is going to go through, probably, unless they're far away from you or something like that. You can also try to like hit them with a quick like parry, and then either throw them or dodge or something too. You don't have to actually try to. It's clearly indicated what they're trying to do, but if you don't do it fast enough, it's not going to go through. And there's strong and quick attacks, and it's actually a pretty fun like fighting system. It seems like it's not there's not a lot to it at first, but the more you play, the more you realize that there's more to it because there's special attacks and that kind of thing too. I'm not very good at it right now, so I'll just be honest at that. I had the AI kill me about. You can play in the duels. You can even set it up to apparently like 99 rounds if you want to. But I played like a best of 5, and I got to I tied it up at 2, and then I lost. And yeah, I mean the AI is pretty good in this game, unless you obviously you can adjust it to what you want. The best thing for me was like feeling the weight of the like if you have a samurai, you can definitely feel the weight of the fact that he's slower than say the assassin that's faster, or the knight that his sword's quicker and that kind of stuff. I'm not still certain about if there's single player in this game or not. Uh, which I think there's not. I think it's just multiplayer. So
I imagine if there is, it'll be like very bare bones, and it'll just be like training missions to get you into this multiplayer.
probably, and it's also because in the multiplayer you can play against AI. You don't have to play against other people, and so and that also counts because they have this obviously you choose what clan you want to be in. Now it doesn't mean that you can't be other heroes, some other like you can't be if you choose that you want to be a samurai. It doesn't mean that you can't go and play as a Viking later. It just means that your clan or whatever is samurai. So whatever you do in the game as far as like multiplayer, whether it's playing against the AI or against other people or whatever, you basically add points for your clan, and then in like 2 weeks they'll give you extra stuff and extra gold and whatever, and they also have special events for you to like team up with people and play. And you don't get to play the event stuff in the beta, but that's apparently in the game. So I mean, it seems like it's a cool game for people that really like multiplayer stuff. If you're a single player, like I gotta have my campaign thing, I don't know that that's gonna do a whole lot for you, you know?
Well, I looked it up, and it does have a single player, but that remains to be seen about how good it is or not.
It has one for each type, right? Or is it just one?
They just say a single player campaign, so who knows? You probably like switch between all 3 or something like that.
That might be it. Yeah, you just probably switch between the 3 of them. That would make sense. I mean, the whole premise is that they have no idea why they're fighting, but this one evil person, like, basically reignited the flame as to why she's gonna make sure that they fight. And it's like, okay.
It sounds like Zarm from Captain Planet.
You can play it as single player or 2-player co-op. It's an immersive tale of larger than life warriors plunged into one of the bloodiest wars. It does not really say what you're doing. Probably does say what you're doing. I don't have time for this thing to load. So yeah, I mean it's fun. I think it definitely, if you're listening to this and you should definitely download it. I think especially if you have any kind of friends that can download it with you and play, whether you want to fight against them or fight with them against the AI, definitely should do that. So let's get into talking about stuff that's happened this week. Of course, with the Switch, every week that goes by, we're getting closer to the launch of the Switch. So more stuff gets revealed, and this time it's not actually by leaks, it's by Nintendo themselves coming out and deciding to do interviews revealing stuff about the Switch. They've officially revealed that there is no backwards compatibility with the Switch. They are considering, obviously, by the fact that they already have some on the Switch lineup, but they are considering ports from not just Wii U games, but probably from other systems as well. They still haven't talked about Virtual Console, which is weird. But, there's still a few weeks left before then.
Only a month. They'll get that ironed out in no time.
I mean, all they have to do is go and interview and say, okay, this is what Virtual Console is. But, I mean...
You can get to buy Mario World for a third time on Virtual Console.
I swear if that's what it is, I'm not even bothering.
You know that's what it is. What it's going to be.
But they I don't know how they could really transfer over.
I don't even want them to transfer. I just want them to have like Netflix for games. Say screw it.
They should, but the fact that maybe that's why they won't let you keep the game that you get for the Nintendo Network or whatever, because maybe they're going to introduce some kind of thing like PS Now.
Every game doesn't need to have online, so if like they port Street Fighter 2 over and it has online, great, but don't care.
Yeah, it's still weird to me that, they would have done it that way, but maybe they'll learn. It's not like it can't be something they can switch later.
I see what you did there. Yeah. Well, this is their third time at the bat. It's 3 strikes and you're out at this point.
He does also confirm that the being able to play games online, chat with friends is through the mobile app. It is not through the system. And they once again kind of talk about the price. It's still in yen, though. They haven't confirmed the price for anything else. That's between $18 to $27, but the stuff I've seen, it's $30 a month, which I still think isn't bad. But he's saying that the online is going to be above and beyond to make sure customers are getting a service that is worth paying for. So we're paying special attention to make sure
it's all through a valuable service. It's all through a third-party app that we have no control over. That's why it'll be good.
This is just... I guess it cuts costs, right? I guess this is why they can charge $30, because it's through a phone.
No, they can charge $30 because if they try to charge $60, they get laughed out of their room.
Oh yeah, I'm sure, especially with how much their accessories cost. But still, I think that they're trying at least to make people understand that we're not wanting you to pay another $60.
Outside of Splatoon, Mario Kart, and Smash Brothers, what Nintendo franchises are online compatible? That you would pay money for. Let's say
Pokemon,
that.
If they
but they're not going to do that.
Well, let's say that they port over the fighting game.
Pokken?
Yeah.
Ugh. They could, but I doubt that. I don't think it was like a huge success for them.
Oh, I'm sure it wouldn't, but it's still something they can do to bring more multiplayer stuff in there. I could see them adding some kind of multiplayer Zelda mode or something just to say they have it.
Four Swords Adventure 2.
Yeah, why not? Speaking of, Kimishima also talked about that they are currently not working on an successor to the 3DS, but they are not ruling that out either. They're still thinking of portable systems. We're still thinking of ways to bring out portable systems. He doesn't confirm or deny there, but
it'll be the 4DS, but it involves time travel, and they haven't quite worked that out yet.
Hey, that would be amazing. I'm not gonna complain about what if you could time travel with your 4DS or whatever. I don't blame them, honestly. The 3DS, I think we talked about it last week, is still selling. They make good games for it. Third parties actually want to work with the system, so that also, is important there. But I don't know. I'd imagine that it would hurt your Switch sales if you're still telling people that there's still another console out there that you should buy from Nintendo.
It just reminds me of the whole, what was it?
That third pillar thing?
Yeah, I was going to say the DS, Game Boy Advance, and I think like Game Boy Color, or GameCube. And it's like, we're going to have, the DS is out, and here's a Game Boy Advance Micro, and it's going to be the third pillar. It's like, yeah, that lasted for a week, and then you stopped selling it.
Somehow people would still buy those, though. It was like they just release a Game Boy, and then, everybody buy the freaking Micro, and everybody buy the DS too, and it's like, wait, why? Back when Nintendo couldn't do any wrong. I just wonder if they're scared to go all in on the Switch, and then it backfires and they don't have something else.
I think they totally are, because they are trying to position the Switch as like the Wii 2. And I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think that the casual market's gonna gravitate towards it like they did the first one. Not to mention the stuff costing so much too.
Like the Wii was novel because it largely introduced motion controls to like the mainstream audience. Like, this thing is a tablet which you can play on your TV, and that's it.
Yeah, and then the game that you're introducing that's supposed to be your Wii Sports like thing that's going to get everybody going. You don't even pack it in with the system.
Also, it's not like Wii Sports is a very mainstream game because it is baseball, boxing, bowling, golf, like Americana things, or like things you can very easily grasp. Like the crap in 1-2 Switch is like so Japanese that most people aren't even going to bother with it.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it working at parties as in like, look how stupid this is. But you do it once, and then guess what happens? You don't play it again. It's just, I don't see somebody going, I'm going to pay $50 for this. Not to mention, what quiet party are you going to? That the people are going to be able to hear what's happening.
You're going to be at a party, and you're going to be like, everyone shut up, I want to play this cow milking game with a friend.
Or this game where we're going to act like we're shooting each other. Or we're not. Basically, it's just a Zelda machine right now. And a Mario machine later. But,
but that's pretty much all the Wii U was also.
Well, the Wii U technically never got a Zelda until right now. So, or an original Zelda.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think it's going to do fine. It's just, I don't think it's going to catch this casual thing that they want it to. And
no, it won't hit the zeitgeist that they want.
Right. And it's unfortunate, but I just, when we were done watching that thing, I was just kind of like, well, I don't know that I want one right now. And you kind of made me almost not want one instead of wanting one. Like, all this stuff with if I want to play like the way you want me to play it with all the multiplayer and the controllers, well, I gotta shell out a ton of money. If I'm just playing by myself, okay, fine, I get everything in one package and $300, it's not bad. Just, I don't know, every time you hear something, it's more depressing and less Less good, I guess, at this point. Nintendo does say that they want to make 2 to 3 mobile games every year. They've already delayed the Animal Crossing game. The Fire Emblem Heroes is out there. I have not played this game. I'm sorry. I am a Fire Emblem fan, but
Are you going to choose your way to get a good party?
yeah, that's definitely not paying for the party. I don't play a lot of games on my phone just because I play that WWE Champions game, and while it's good, it was like somehow eating my battery when I wasn't even using it.
I actually have a related story. I have my roommate. He was complaining that his battery life is like lower than his girlfriend's phone. They have the same phone, and he was like, "I only have 270 apps installed," and I'm like, "That may be the reason."
Yeah, definitely.
She has like 20.
But like it would send me alerts.
Yeah.
Of, hey, you got like this message, you need to go look in the game.
Yeah, that's the whole thing about mobile games. Is like you got to play every day.
And I'm just like, why is my battery just dying? I'm not playing the game. The app isn't on. Whatever. And I install it. All of a sudden, my battery life is back to normal. I'm like, well, I'm not playing this game again. Sadly, I kind of liked it. It's just WWE Bejeweled, and you get to control their moves that they do by hitting the Bejeweled, hitting the combo or whatever. So, I mean, and it's cool, like, seeing the characters, the way they look, the way that they drew them and stuff. Just, I don't know, I'm just not big on look, you can call me an old man or whatever, I'm just not big on the doing stuff on my phone. If they would release this on PC or something, maybe.
Better go recruit, what's her name? What? Damn, I can't remember her name. The chick who just got fired is leaving soon. With the red hair.
Who?
No, with the red hair.
From where?
WWE.
Oh, Eva Marie.
Yeah, better go recruit her real quick before she gets pulled from the game.
I don't think they'll pull her, because, I mean, they kept Del Rio in the Supercard game for a while, so...
I think it'll eventually be on PC. I mean, Marvel Puzzle Quest is on PC, and same game.
I mean, we've been saying that they should have made that other game on the consoles, and they never did either, so...
Yeah, but that's like, that'd be them, like, having NetherRealm build a whole new game. They're not going to pay for that. So
yeah, probably
have, like, the SmackDown series or whatever the hell it's called. Like,
they really should branch out, though. I mean, I just wonder why 2K won't think about that. Like, how much you could do with that license and those characters. And
it's because when they tried, we got Crush Hour.
Oh, jeez. I did like that story. I think it was Day of Reckoning 1 or 2, where you do, like, or was it WrestleMania 21? I don't remember. It was one of the GameCube games where you like have to fight to get back in, and you're literally fighting, and you're like going into like parking lots and having to climb over things and do platforming and stuff. It was like weird. It's like, this is not a wrestling game, but okay.
That sounds like the Def Jam games.
Yeah. Hey, I love the Def Jam games. Those were good games.
Yeah, I played the PS2 one a lot.
The first one was really like awesome because it was just basically like playing No Mercy or WrestleMania 2000, but with Def Jam. And the second one was more like a fighting game, but it still had those same mechanics. And it was really fun.
Yeah, I played the second one with like Henry Rollins and Ice-T.
Yeah, man. I like the story in those games too. They were actually pretty good.
I mean, they were bad, but they were good bad.
Yeah, it was good for the setting that it has. And I already know Carmen Electra being in that game the last time she was relevant.
It was only a decade, almost 20 years ago.
I swear, that was the last time I ever heard anything having to do with Carmen Electra. Was that game? then nothing
Yeah.
ever again. So,
Well, at least you didn't go crazy like Jenny McCarthy. So.
oh god, yeah. Ugh. But this was interesting. I read this and I go, I wonder if they would really consider doing this, or this just Walmart and everybody else trying to get a piece of the pie that they see digital becoming this big thing. But retailers apparently sent out some. I don't know if it's a survey or it's some kind of thing that they sent to publishers where they asked publishers, could we start selling games weeks early, but you insert some kind of DRM where they can't, or some kind of code where the game doesn't unlock until launch day, like what happens with a digital pre-order, basically. So instead of digitally pre-ordering, you could pre-order, take the disc with you, but you still can't play it until whenever the release day happens. Do you feel like this does anything if you're in the store and
No, because usually when I pre-order something, it's like months away. It's not like weeks away. Also,
right?
I would envision this getting hacked at some point. Be like, well, Mass Effect Andromeda is due out in 3 weeks, but I already got this copy and I figured out a way to crack it early, so let's play.
Yeah, because
Also,
I mean, there's gonna be people that are gonna be too smart to not mess with it. I
also,
mean,
it's
I
not.
mean, if you do that, they could also go and lock your game and whatnot too. But
Also, it's not like I mean, Steam has like preloading of digital games. Like you can preload. I mean, it's only certain games too. Like if a few days in advance. But that's a bad system. Like it usually takes longer to like decrypt the game files than it does to download the game.
well, the PS4 and Xbox One both have it too, where you can preload.
I mean, that may work better. I hope it does because Steam is terrible.
But I
But
mean, like, it doesn't always work that well because guess what? You have the day one patch. You're still waiting anyway.
yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, I can understand why they're trying to do this, but this is never going to work.
I mean, they think that if you're immediately able to take home the physical disc, that it's going to boost impulse sales.
And then what happens when you get home? You open it up and you somehow lose the key that's inside of it.
Yeah, or yeah, it's in this little slip that they stick in the where the manual used to be.
Remember
And
game manuals?
yeah, I remember when when you go buy, you can still get them when you go buy an old. Well, Final Fantasy 15 had one.
Mine didn't.
Oh well, no, it didn't.
It had like a slip that said here.
Well, it had a slip that told you here's all the other Final Fantasy crap you can buy. Uh, no, yeah, when you go buy old 360 or PS3 games, those are the last ones I think that had any kind of manual.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just don't like. I think you're gonna get a lot of people that if you did this, you get a lot of people confused. For one, that think that they have the game they can play right now. Like, try to explain this to a kid.
Yeah.
And not only that, but like, okay, let's say that the key is on that slip that's over there. Well, if somebody comes and takes it out or you lose it or whatever, and you go, well, no, I can't unlock my game. Well, they go, well, tough luck.
I assume the game would still work like after the point of release, but
Right.
also like GameStop opens games up before they sell them new, so no way is that gonna work.
No, oh yeah, definitely. If you bring in the game within a certain time period after the game's released, they'll just put it as new. It's just, I don't know. I think I understand what they're trying to do. they want that cut of the digital pre-orders. They want to kind of make it feel like, hey, you don't have to go order digitally. Just come, still get it in the store like you always do.
I mean, if they really want to do that, they should do what Best Buy and Amazon do and lower the price.
Oh yeah, if you're part of their like Best Buy's games thing.
Yeah, or Amazon Prime. I think it's $48 for a new game, and that's why I primarily buy physical games now, because I go through Amazon and it's $48 and I get free shipping on release date. So why not?
That's exactly what these retailers should do, but they're not going to because they don't get as much of a cut if the game's cheaper.
Yeah.
So uh, they really should, because I mean I know people are saying that digital should do this because it's going straight to the game maker or whatever, but
Digital is like really screwed up right now still.
oh yeah, it definitely is, and it's not smooth as far as I mean, yeah, you can go in, you could buy your game and it works and whatever, but you gotta wait till download it, and if it's on PS4, forget about it. You're waiting for hours.
Yeah, wait, turn it off for the night, essentially.
Somehow, some of the games though recently, I don't know what it is, whether it's my internet's working better on it or whatever, but they have been downloading faster.
Well, it was good last week. 'Cause I think last week they had a PSN flash sale, or like 2 weeks ago, and it was like buy the Division for $20. I said, okay, that's not a bad price for it online, for digital. And the season pass was $30. And it's like, that's more than the game.
Yeah. Well, that's how they get you, though. They get you to buy the game on sale and then go, oh, I want the DLC. Oh, well, damn, I got to pay $30 for that.
The classic example is Assassin's Creed Syndicate, because it always goes on sale on PSN for some reason. And it's always like $15 or $20. And the gold edition is always $30, which isn't bad, honestly. And the gold edition is, the game and the season pass. And meanwhile, the season pass is always $30. It's like,
yeah.
How does that work?
Well, for them, they just think, all right, I'm gonna. That's how we make our money back. That's what they do with the PS Plus and games for gold, right? That you get the game for free, but if you want the DLC or the season pass, whatever, you still got to pay for that. That's how they get you. They will keep you coming back.
Yep.
Well, that being said, the Ubisoft said that they've actually tested or done something with an Assassin's Creed in VR. Would this be the thing that makes you go, oh, I kind of want VR now? I know how big of an Assassin's Creed fan you are. Hey, AC VR.
No, because they did that once in Assassin's Creed Revelations. It was a first-person puzzle mode, and it was awful.
Well, there you go.
Also, I have no faith in it to actually pull this off. Like, they can't even get that Star Trek bridge crew thing out on an actual release date. So, I don't have a lot of faith with Ubisoft in the VR right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Also, I want that to be that's a third-person game. I don't want it to be first-person.
Right, yeah, it's a different kind of game when you put it in that perspective, so. I mean, it's interesting they're playing with it, but that's what they're going to do, right? They're going to use some of their biggest franchises to.
I mean, I could see them doing like a VR mode, or here's a little VR experience for you for like an hour or two, but that'll be about it.
Right. So Take-Two has talked about they have licensed a couple of their game titles for movies, but they're not saying which ones, and they are saying that they're not going to put their own money into it because video game movies suck, basically. At least they're, pretty blunt about it. They say all they care about is getting creative control, and apparently they have with some of these, franchises, but honestly, a lot of their franchises, they could kind of do whatever, right? Like, Grand Theft Auto could sort of be made into almost anything if they really want to. And, I mean, I could see them making a Red Dead movie that wouldn't, they'd probably screw it up somehow, but it wouldn't be too hard to do.
Maybe if you get Seth MacFarlane as John Marston. Or Adam Sandler. One of those two guys.
I wonder if we'll ever get the Bioshock movie.
No.
Sadly.
You can finally get a Smuggler's Run video game.
Of course, the Borderlands movie that's in production, which I don't know. I already just don't want to even have hopes for that movie.
See, I question that because in none of, except for in Tales from the Borderlands, none of those movies had a plot or characters.
Yeah, well, they had characters, but they were not deep at all.
They were antagonistic, or they.
Yeah, they were just
your playable characters. Yeah, your playable characters had no personality. They were, a bunch of one-liners, and that's it.
Yeah, let's make pop culture references. Woo! Oh, yeah, that really didn't do anything. I do have sort of some faith in the Tomb Raider movie.
Yeah, they had that shot out. That looked okay.
It's just, it's hard to really, want to be excited about that just because.
Well, I saw that Assassin's Creed movie, and that was something special.
No, I bet. Oh, yeah, you talked about that. It was not.
Yeah.
Huh?
No.
Well, talking about another video game being adapted to something, the Castlevania is going to be a TV show on Netflix, produced by Adi Shankar. It's going to focus on Trevor Belmont's fight against Dracula. And it's supposed to be in the vein of Game of Thrones.
Is this a cartoon, though? Because I think we talked about a cartoon, like Netflix, or them doing a Castlevania cartoon like a few months ago, and I'm not quite sure if this is it or not. Because they said this is supposed to be due this year, and that's quick if it's a live-action show.
I don't know, but it's R-rated. That's
yeah,
all
all they said is it's coming, and that's it. But also Netflix is saying, we're going to make a Zelda TV show also, and
I don't think that ever happened. I think that was speculation by
but
people.
They've also announced no stars, no director, no writer, anything. They're just we're making a Castlevania thing. It may have Alucard in it if you fuckers bitch about it enough, and that's about it.
But if they're going to be in some kind of costume or whatever, does it really? Yeah, you're still going to see their face, right? You're still going to see the actor's face or whatnot, but.
What's Robert Pattinson up to these days? Can he be Dracula?
Right? Who knows? I haven't seen him in anything, so he just did Twilight and just I'm not like the biggest Castlevania person, but always gonna root for video games getting spots on Netflix.
I'm a bigger one, and I like that Power Rangers thing he did, but we'll see what happens.
The Skylanders one has done pretty well for them, so.
It has a crazy voice cast.
Yeah. Oh God. Right. It has some really good actors doing that, right?
Yeah, and then that their Crash Bandicoot thing was insane. Because they have him talking.
Oh, that's awesome. Wait, doesn't he talk in the remakes though?
Now he does, but he never used to talk.
Well, they gotta change things sometime.
Yeah, Susan Sarandon's in Skylanders and Parker Posey and some other people. So it's or Norm Macdonald. That's it.
Ah.
So a weird voice cast for Skylanders, but a good one.
I was meaning to watch that, but just never get around to it. But now I might have more time because there will be no main Skylanders game made in 2017. They could make a mobile game. They will be making more of the toys and whatnot. This is what Disney Infinity decided to do, and then we found out that
No, they're just done.
yeah, they're just done. Now Lego officially, they've been kind of, I think they just came out with some new.
Well, Lego is weird because that came out, I want to say 2 years ago.
Mm. But they were upfront about that, though. They said that their characters were going to last for years. They were not going to do the same model that the other two were doing.
No, I know that's true, but I kind of just wonder like how much is packed on that disc, or like how much content is actually there. Because that was the whole thing with like Infinity. Like they kept, ideally you wanted to have Disney Infinity or even Skylanders. Like, you just buy a disc and they just keep patching it with more crap into it. But
right.
They didn't do that, and I wonder if like Disney, if Lego Dimensions is somehow.
Well, I think what the thing with Lego Dimensions is every time you buy one of those ones that has like the vehicle and the whatever, you get like a story with them. So if they release enough of those.
Yeah, but the story requires like assets, like the levels or the voice acting and stuff like that.
But somehow it gets tied back into the main story. I've seen some of that and I'm just like, okay, this is weird, but they figured out how to do this right. I don't know. I mean, hopefully it lasts for Lego. They got plenty of franchises, obviously, but
you can go pick up that Disney license now.
Yeah, how much is Disney gonna charge them for it? I don't know. I mean, the last two games didn't sell very well for Activision. I don't blame them for taking a year off because obviously you're asking parents every year to pay $75 for a game and then to keep buying the toys, and that's eventually it gets to where the parents are kind of like, look, this is getting ridiculous. How many of these toys do you have? And every time, how kids are, right? Oh, but I gotta have this one. And my daughter does this all the time. But Daddy, you need to take me to McDonald's like 3 more times because I need to have this Happy Meal toy. I need to have this one. I was like, no, we're just not doing it. So I can't imagine with its $13 Skylanders, which was really ironic because I have somebody from Activision talking to me about reviewing the Imaginators game, and I have the starter pack being sent to me. Actually, it's supposed to get here on Monday, and they want that originally she just wanted us to review the game for the Switch, and I said, well, I don't know that anybody on our staff is going to have the Switch. So she's like, well, I'll hold this Switch copy for you in case somebody does, but do you want to review it for PS4? And I'm like, okay. Are you sending a starter pack? Because I'm not buying Skylanders. And she's like, yeah, I'll even send you the 3D thing so you can print your Skylanders that you make or something. I was like, okay. So, yeah. I mean,
print one that looks like Bart Simpson.
Why not? Let's do it. You can play with them in the Lego game, but let's make a Skylander for Bart Simpson. Valve is killing Steam Greenlight, basically just replacing them with Steam Direct so that they can make sure that it runs well and it has the exe file. I guess so you can mod it and stuff. Right?
No, it's because a lot of Steam Greenlight games didn't have like game files.
So why is that?
It ties more into like Steam. Honestly, should tie more into like Steam Early Access because people like shady developers would just throw up a game and say, "Oh, it's a game," and it would have no actual game exe file to run. And it's like, this is a scam. You're trying to bug people.
What are they doing?
Yeah, nothing. Did nothing.
It's like, oh, let me just hack into your computer then. Oh,
Well,
well,
Steam is such a mess right now. This is I guess one of the things they're trying to get rid of. I think is like Steam Greenlight voting because people like a lot of developers they go like, oh, here's a free key, vote for my game, and that
right.
that's good that they're getting rid of that, but their whole like, well, you can put anything you want on Steam approach is not good because Steam is filled with crap. You
Yes.
can every 3 days their new release page cycle is completely new.
Oh
That's
God, and
crazy.
there's like 20 games there.
Yeah,
It's like,
like
nope.
you can't if you try to find a specific game. Like let's say you find a game once and you didn't bookmark it, and you forgot the name, but you knew like the screenshots, when you knew like the genre. It's a nightmare to try to find again.
Oh yeah, unless it's something that was like really popular,
I think I
then
saw
you
like
might find it.
yeah, unless it's like like No Man's Sky or For Honor or something, some AAA title. Like that's one thing, but a lot of indie stuff, forget it.
Yeah, unless it's like a pop like a Stardew Valley or Inside or whatever. Oh, okay, you'll find those, but
Yeah,
try to find one of those diamond in the rough indies. Like, oh well, you lost it. Might want to go search on Google. You might find it easier there.
yeah, like Steam. I think I saw like there was a thing a few months ago where it's like 40% of games on Steam were released last year alone,
Oh,
and
wow.
it's like that's not a good figure. Like that, no,
Well, I mean, how many of those is like people finally bringing their game to Steam
not
that
many.
wasn't on Steam before? You know?
Not many, because a lot of them are just mobile ports.
Yeah, that too.
I mean,
I,
hell, Jim Sterling does a YouTube series where he just reviews crap on Steam for every few days.
yeah, Final Fantasy just did their Mobius port to Steam, and I was like, oh well, okay.
I mean, sometimes it works. Like The Room 2 was a great game on Steam, but they spent 2 years rebuilding The Room 2 from iOS to PC, so it looks great. But a lot of them are just like, well, this is an Android game. We put in mouse control. Here you go. It's like
You can use
that's
your gamepad. It's cool.
yeah.
Not. uh, Speaking of things that some people think are not cool, Final Fantasy 15. It actually broke even on the first day, 5 million units. It's only surprisingly shipped another million after that, which is, I thought they would be further along at this point. But, I mean, they still have the DLC and they're still
They,
patching things.
it's the inevitable Final Fantasy 15 Game of the Year edition due out end of this year.
God, just don't do it.
Final Fantasy 15.5.
Oh God, even worse. Please
We'll
don't
have
do that either.
we'll have Sora as a playable character somehow.
They did announce that don't expect it on the Switch because they don't think it's gonna run well. It's like I can
Yeah,
already tell you it's not gonna run well on the
it's like no
Switch.
shit.
And how big that game is, like no, like
It,
yeah,
I mean,
just going through the world's gonna be a
it, parts of that game barely run well on a PS4. So
yeah,
it's like, what do
really.
you?
Don't think you want to try it on the Switch at all. Psychonauts 2 did get a publisher, Starbreeze Studios. They're putting up an additional $8 million for the game. The Starbreeze is going to get 85% of any revenue sharing profit until the game breaks even. Then they get 60%. And it's got
That's
a 2018 release date.
that's an odd pick because Starbreeze is not quite known for like their cute games, except for Brothers.
Well, they probably would have tried Majesco again, but they closed down. So, I think at this point they were just trying anybody.
They should have Valve publish it.
Yeah, I'm sure Gabe Newell was just like, I think didn't he just say he's like, I don't want to play in any walled gardens. Like, all right, Gabe Newell.
Have the guy who did Minecraft publish it himself.
Yeah, and then sell it off again. Right, when it sells, or maybe doesn't sell.
Yeah, I'll get Psychonauts 2 for sure, but it's a big question mark about if it's gonna be popular or not.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, so many people say that they love Psychonauts 1, but it's like, are you really going to be there when Psychonauts 2 comes out and are going to play it and everything? Or is that something you just go, oh, it's one of those games I kind of liked? And
Well, it's the same thing with a lot of crowdfunded games. It's like, okay, you sold all these pre-orders for this game. Now, how many actual orders do you expect to get? Like that's going to be Shenmue 3 problem, no, for sure.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think if they really are making Shenmue 2 HD or whatever, is it Shenmue 1 HD, whatever the heck they're...
Well, people want both, and it's like, well, good luck.
I think they'll probably wind up doing both. Just depends. I think it depends all about how well Shenmue 3 sells past the people that paid for the Kickstarter and all that. But, I mean, it's got Sony and Square behind them, so if anybody can get people to really go after and then buy the Shenmue series, it would be them. Destiny 2 is officially set for 2017. It's going to be well, we pretty much already knew this, about it being a full sequel, not an expansion pack. So does that mean you won't need anything from Destiny 1 at all?
I assume you'll probably be able to do like a character transfer. The bigger, I guess, problem is Activision only has 2 games out for this year.
Call of Duty?
Yeah, that and Call of Duty. What the hell?
That doesn't surprise me at all. They just keep making less. I mean, I guess Blizzard's still doing their thing, so.
Yeah, but they're not going to have a new game out this year.
No, but I mean, with all the other games that Blizzard has, and then remember they bought the Candy Crush people, so they just have games that just keep going. So what do they need to make games for? And Call of Duty, even though it sold less, it still sold well. So they said they're not going. The in space did not resonate with fans apparently. So
I think it's because it just was like a weird half step game. Like they should have just went full bore with it, and it was like a very tentative step. So it was just stuck between like both worlds. Like if they just went full on like Colony Wars or whatever, it would have been fine.
Well, I think they were just scared of like turning people off.
Or if if it had been like an open world game, I actually would have liked that a lot more, or it would have been a lot more interesting.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think I would have been into that if you're getting to fly around and just getting to do missions and stuff.
There's like this whole Deca 52 system in that game where it's like you're killing specific enemies and they're on this board, but it's all scripted. So it's like you do one mission and it's like four the player card or 4 the enemy cards come out and attack you, and it's like why even have the system if it's just so scripted like this? Because there's no characters. I mean, they're just names on a board. Who cares?
Right. Yeah. I mean,
and they're not harder than anyone like actual enemies. So it's you killed the 7 of clubs. It's like, okay, is that like what does that get me? Nothing. Okay, then let's move on.
Yeah. Why is this in here? Oh, okay. Just Activision because they want to be cinematic.
So it was funny. They were talking about going back to the roots of Call of Duty. It's like, was it going to be World War II again? Like,
yeah, right? Like that's your roots. I mean, no, they're just we're going to have more action and battles and stuff. Okay. So you didn't have that before?
Yeah. Well, they're stuck with a hard place with that franchise because they got three different developers making it who apparently don't talk to each other that much. So it's like, okay. And then there are three different feels to those games. So what are you gonna do?
I mean, it's a total crapshoot as to what you're getting every year. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way they want to do it, though, and people still buy it. So, I mean,
Call of Duty Ghosts 2 coming at you.
oh God, just don't. Just, I guess you can play with the dogs more.
You only play as a dog in this one.
Call of Duty, Ghost Dog.
And Snoop Dogg will be the voice actor
Oh
for the dog.
yes. You'd be like, oh, I'm dropping it like it's hot right now. Oh, Steven, right there for you. So there is the PS4 Beta firmware that's rather interesting because they have finally allowed you to have external hard drive support for up to 8 terabytes, which I don't think even Xbox One does that. There's a boost mode for the PS4 Pro to speed up load times and stuff. And pretty much that's kind of the important stuff.
What about custom wallpaper?
What gives a fuck about custom wallpaper?
Someone apparently does still.
And I don't really need to know any more notifications that I get from PS4. Thank you. I mean, it really wasn't hard to do the internal hard drive, but I get it. A lot of people don't want to mess with their system.
Well, and the thing is, also external drives are getting cheaper than internal ones.
Right.
I mean, right now I think there's like a 2 terabyte Western Digital on sale for like $60 from Best Buy or something. And it's like that's cheaper than like an internal one for sure.
Oh no, yeah, the one I got for my Xbox One was 100, and I had to pay. I think it was might have been 179 for the 2 terabyte thing that I put in the PS4.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely they are cheaper. And plus you can take them out, put files on your PC if you want to, in case you ever something happens. So I think it's a smart thing. Just they should have done this earlier.
Want to back up that PT game file?
Actually, why not, right?
I still got that.
cannot download that at all now.
I still got it. I'm one of the few.
Lucky you.
There's actually like some bootleg way to get it, like to re-download it, but it's like real half-assed.
And other than Fallout 4 having HD textures, which I don't care, but I don't know if this
Well, it's
means anything to you.
It's 58 gigabytes. That's nuts.
Why?
And I looked at screenshots between the two. It's like a 5% visual bump. Like, stuff up close looks sharper, and that's it.
There's those stupid people that are just so into the, oh my god, this has got to look amazing. I've got to re-download everything and waste my time. Oh. Speaking of wasting your time, if you're a press member, you might have your time wasted some more at E3 this year because they are opening it to the public with the first 1,000 tickets being $150, and anybody else that wants to get in for the other 14,000 tickets, you're paying 250 smackers. I think we've talked about this a bunch of times before. It was a nightmare to play games in 2009 with just press there. I cannot imagine what that's going to be like with 15,000 gamers there.
Well, I envision it'll be a lot more closed meetings or appointments.
Yeah,
And
but
that's
is
about it.
every freaking press member going to get closed meetings now? Because, like, I cannot imagine they're going to be able to do that. Like, IGNs and GameSpots and Giant Bombs and all them, they'll be fine, but, like, what, like,
I was
websites
actually
like us and 411 and whatever, like, are they just going to get lumped in with those 15,000 people and just, well, you might as well never go to Nintendo's booth because you'll never see the light of day.
I was actually more curious about like our site and 401 in regards to the actual price. Like, if one of us wanted to go, would they charge us?
No, they didn't charge me when I was. As long as you're press, they're not going to charge you.
Yeah, but what's to
Uh,
stop them? I mean, to say everyone has to pay now.
well, that'd be dumb.
I
The
mean, they
thing
could.
is,
I mean, they
they
could.
no, they could. They could. It's still a press event, though. Like you're still wanting to. I mean, yeah, they could start doing it by which they don't do. They just ask if you're press, and then they
Yeah.
whatever. But they could start doing the whole. Okay, well, we're going to do it based on how many your numbers.
Yeah.
And that's how they could decide to start charging you. You know, uh, which phone would probably still be fine on that. But
I mean, I think it's a bad idea. Like, because from what I understand, like E3 is already crowded. Like, not even
yeah,
talking about games, just talking about like getting around.
mm,
So it's like, well, let's add in, at least double the size. I mean, I don't. Has there been 15,000 press people there before? I mean,
well, I
maybe,
mean,
but
every year you get more press people, so
that's true.
you
I
know,
mean, let's say there's 30,000 press people there, though, like last year, which there probably wasn't, but let's just say, for example, let's add in, half more of this percentage of people. So, okay, have fun.
yeah. And then the thing is too, if you're not
Don't,
us specifically, but if you're one of the ones that are like doing this this is your job, and you're supposed to get playtime with these games, and then you can't do your preview because you never got to play the game because you had to wait for all
the
these other people to
bathroom.
play. Yeah, like and not to mention Wi-Fi sucks in there, so yeah. I don't know. I mean, it may sound snobby to people that are listening, and they're saying, "Oh, you're just saying that because whatever."
Well,
Trust me. What if you had a bunch of people invade your workspace and
also,
you're
it's more like,
yeah? Go ahead.
well, also, it's more like, fuck them. Like, there's PAX and there's other events. Like, E3 is supposed to be, like, somewhat closed off. That's the
Right.
point of it. It's not like you can go to, like, CES. Like, it's not an open door policy over there.
I don't even remember. Like, I think. Oh well, E3's just worried that they're less relevant now, so they're just trying to do everything they can to.
Yeah, but it's not because there's less people there. It's because EA isn't there or Activision isn't there.
So I guess they think if they take regular gamers, that Activision and EA are gonna all of a sudden go back. Like, I,
That's what
I
they
don't.
think, but
I don't know. I mean, I don't know
that's not gonna.
why.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
I don't know that EA and Activision with their like 2 to 8 games that they make every year is really gonna matter anyway. I mean,
Yeah, what is Activision gonna do? Have a 200 kiosk setup where you can play Call of Duty against each other? It's like, okay, I did that once, and what else you got? Well,
yeah.
we got one other game. Okay, anything else? No. Okay, bye.
Well, I mean, EA now has their own like the EA Play thing.
Yeah, which is
So,
a hilarious failure on its face.
and they're gonna do it for this year too. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
So you need to buy E3 tickets and tickets to that thing.
yeah, exactly. And then they're still not getting into the. I can't wait until they go. Oh well, this also means that eventually you're gonna have to let them into the the press conferences or
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
It's like, no. Well, I mean, really what ends up happening, and this happens every year, so I don't want to say this just from my perspective, but every year you're supposed to get a press thing to go to the Microsoft press conference or the whatever. Guess what happens when you get there? They don't have time to process everybody. So what do? Everybody go in.
Yeah, like whoever's in line, step right up.
Yeah, like they just at the end it's about to start and they go, "Oh crap, just let everybody in," because they can't sit there. You're going to miss the press conference. And the whole point is you're supposed to be like live blogging it or whatever, or have stuff right after, so they really can't just go, okay, well, we have to wait to process everybody with their pass and their whatever. So it's just, I don't know. This is probably just going to keep becoming this bigger and bigger thing, and eventually it's going to get overcrowded like almost anything else. And
Well, I think that was one of the problems with like E3 2006 or something when they stopped it for that year or two.
Yeah. Well, I have to see. They might have to start holding it in a different place.
Speaking of lines, imagine how bad that batch line is going to be.
Oh God. Ugh.
It'll just be, they'll just hold it in Nevada Desert. It'll be just like Burning Man E3.
Well, I think that's everything that we were gonna talk about here. There is we talked about For Honor coming out. Of course, that's the big game since Persona got moved from this spot.
Thank God it got moved. I don't have money to buy it.
Yeah, me neither. Don't have money to buy it either. With the hopefully, when I find out good news about the whenever income tax is showing up now, be able to get caught up on games again. Sniper Elite 4 also coming out. Somehow How to Survive 1 sold well enough to get a How to Survive 2. The first one was horrible. Just one of the most wretched games on this generation of consoles. Fly Wrench, which is a really neat little indie game. MX Nitro and Boar, and there's a couple other things too, which I can't think of right now. But
God, they're making a Ride 2.
Yes.
Why?
Why? Hold on, Ride 1 wasn't very
No,
good.
I reviewed it. I should know.
Well, some people think that you put a 2 next to anything, people would just buy it. So, well, until next week, we will enjoy your games, and we'll see you later, everybody.
Later.
The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.